This is the Tigers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome in to a live Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. I'm your host, Jake Rietma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Rietma. And it might officially be time to cue the taps for the funeral of the Detroit Tigers 2025 season. Game 1 against the Cleveland Guardians goes the way of the Cleveland Guardians. 5-2 the final. And for the first time since April 23rd, 2025, the Detroit Tigers are no longer alone in first place in the American League Central. We're going to try to make sense of it. No hope in that sentiment, because this is a free-falling, epic collapse, Motown meltdown of unbelievable proportions. That is unfathomable that here is where we are right now. We'll take your comments as always. I'll have my biggest talking point, our turning point, our player of the game, and everything else. But tonight's show, somebody has to make sense of how this all came to be, because it's history. MLB history. 12.5 game lead over the Cleveland Guardians on August 25th. And not even a month later, the Guardians and Tigers are tied atop the AL Central with 2 more games against one another, and then 3 more games in a series altogether for 5 more games left in this season. And if any Guardians fan is crashing the Locked On Tigers post-game show, I don't blame you. I really don't. If roles were reversed, I would be checking out the opposition's meltdown and their collapse, their crash out, whatever the kids call it, because this is unprecedented. You can't make sense of it. The Tigers struck out 20 times tonight. 20 times! And I'm going to crash out right now when we get into our Talking About segment.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Look, I've been trying to figure out the words the last several games, even the weekend series in Atlanta, the sweep against Atlanta in Detroit, the sweep at Comerica Park at the hands of the Guardians. Those 6 consecutive losses, I thought it's got to be done. It's got to be over, but it's not. It just keeps happening and happening and happening. And again, other than the thought of this becoming an ESPN 30 for 30 and telling future generations about this collapse, I can't make sense of it. If we want to do the baseball discussion for a second, look, Tigers had opportunities in the 4th inning. Nothing. They get the Wenzel Perez double in the 3rd. Green hits a homer. Riley Green hits a homer in the 6th, but they had opportunities to win this game. But it is such a mental block right now. It is such a curse from the baseball gods on this team. And nobody can stop it. Nobody. The lead in the American League Central is gone. Jeff Passan's tweeting about the Detroit Tigers. It is just August 25th. Detroit holds a 12.5 game lead over Cleveland. September 23rd, the Cleveland Guardians beat the Tigers to tie atop the American League Central. And oh, by the way, now they own the tiebreaker as well. The comments are piling up, and they should be. AJ Hinch is talking to the media right now in the post-game show, but frankly, I don't know if I can even stomach what he has to say. Scuba goes 6 innings, allows the 4 hits, 1 earned run, and what a wonky 6th inning. Let's talk about that for a little bit before we get into the comments. I get Scuba's trying to be a hero, and he's trying to be the guy that steps up and makes an unbelievable play to stop this skid, but he's not a long snapper. Like, I audibly gasped when I saw him throw the ball between his legs. And that 6th inning, I mean, what a bizarre series of events. Infield single. I mean, I guess we can go all the way back with Quan starting with the bunt. followed by Tarek's attempted long snap between the legs, the infield single to third, a wild pitch after the really scary moment there, obviously, with Fry. You hope everyone's okay there. And it just, again, I'm watching it thinking, this is a nightmare. How can it keep happening? And it didn't matter how many runs the Guards continued to add after they took the lead, because this Tigers team is so fragile. They weren't coming back. This Tigers team, they fold like a house of cards. That's, if somebody were to ask me to describe the 2025 Detroit Tigers in the month of September, I would say a house of cards that, with the simplest little adversity, they crumble. They crumble like a house of cards. That's all they've done. And I know I've just spent the entirety of this episode complaining and crashing out, and there's probably people getting the comments from Guardian fans that are going to be laughing at me. And maybe that's all you can do is laugh. I mean, and pull each one of these hairs out individually every night. I feel like Chris Farley on Tommy Boy. What's happening? Pulling the hair out. Okay. There's 100 comments. I'm not going to get to them all. But know that every Tigers fan, I mean, for every single post-game show, in our wildest dreams, even in August, in July, I mean, we were talking about this team as generational. You guys know how I feel and where I draw the blame. It's Scott Harris at the trade deadline, refusing to capitalize on a World Series window. That took the wind out of the sails. And we got a lot of people jumping on this stream that haven't been here every single night. I know the regulars have heard this 100 times, but I'm going to say it again. When you add players at the deadline in an attempt to capitalize on your window to win, there's more than what meets the stat sheet. And the Seattle Mariners are a perfect example. The Philadelphia Phillies, a perfect example. The boost to morale, in addition to the boost on the field, in a statistic manner of what guys can bring to the lineup, whether it be pitching, hitting, starting pitching, bullpen, whatever it is. And with Scott Harris going bargain shopping, dumpster diving, insulting the rest of us by insinuating that he's the smartest baseball mind to ever walk the face of the earth, it took the wind out of the sails for this Tigers team, and we're feeling the fruits of the labor then. We're feeling it come into fruition right now. I'm way over time, and there's 125 comments. You guys are the best. I really do appreciate that. And Thomas Rotondi, Amber, AIL Films. A lot of people upset with Tarek Skubal. And I understand. I keep watching the highlights thinking this can't be real. This can't be real. I just watched the highlight again. It can't be real. He threw the ball between his legs like a field goal snapper. And then a soft grounder to third. A wild pitch. The crash out's happening. I made it 9 minutes and 25 seconds. I mean, the Detroit Tigers are the laughing stock of Major League Baseball tonight. September 23rd, 2025. That's when we'll all remember where we were when the Detroit Tigers became the laughing stock of the baseball world. Hey, the filmmakers at ESPN 30 for 30 are happy. They just get the script wrote itself. What if I told you a team would free fall to the largest choke job and collapse in MLB history? I can't believe it. All right. Love you guys. We're going to do a couple more. I know we got a lot of people tuning in for the first time. I appreciate that, even if it is to laugh and point the finger. But those that have been here since opening day, I mean, gosh, the Tigers now, what's their record? The Tigers are 85-71. So 162 games. They got 5 left. So 157. We've probably done about 140 of these, give or take. I know some people got on me when I went on vacation. I had a charity event I missed an episode for. What are you doing? We want our Locked On Tigers post-game shows. Okay. We'll continue breaking this one down next on live Locked On Tigers postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Nutrafol. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, like that actually works. There's so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's not just the hype, my friends. This is a supplement clinically tested that targets the root cause of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. And whether you're at work, maybe you're out with friends, or even just getting ready in the morning, Nutrafol gives you the more confidence you can feel in your daily routines. And you can feel good about knowing Nutrafol is NSF certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by our good friends at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, thank goodness, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however I want it to. I'm talking player preps, maybe even a same-game parlay, or I even love jumping in on the live action if I've got a hunch on how it's all going to unfold. It makes every game more exciting, and so whether you're just watching your team or maybe you're keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup or maybe both, you're ready to play, download that download the FanDuel. Whoa, my bad. Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel.com. The comments keep piling up, and I love Amber's optimism here. Shout out to Amber. We got to win tomorrow. Yeah, I'll say so. Troy says we choked. Indeed, we did. Mike says the Tigers blow. And I disagree with this one from Triflix. At least 6 of Cleveland's called strikeouts were on blatant balls. Can't wait to see the ump scorecard on this one. That might be true. Chalk that up to the Tigers striking out. I mean, you can't make this up. Tigers struck out 20 times. Just insane. Absolutely insane. Or maybe the box score says 19. I had 20 in my head. Doesn't matter. No. Tigers lost. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, this one from Clutch before we move any further. I'm in Cleveland. I went to the game. I'm sick. I'm sick for you. I really, really do apologize. Man, that's just a tough scene. All right. Guardian fans, I think, have taken over the chat. And again, listen, I played competitive sports my whole life, played football in college. When you lose, the winner has every right to just rub it in your face and talk trash. I'm not going to get mad at anybody for that. You know, like when Pedro Martinez said, you just got to tip my cap, say they're my daddy. The Guardians are the Tigers' daddy right now. And if you think otherwise, you're not watching. I mean, are we serious? I hate Guardian fans. Of course I do. But the hell am I supposed to say? They just erased a 12.5 game lead in less than a month. All right. Let's do, what do I got to do here so I don't get yelled at? Turning point. Here we go.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The game was lost when the baseball gods cursed the Detroit Tigers. How about that? No, it's when the Tigers in the fourth inning, you got to add to that lead. And it was discussed on the broadcast. Benetti talked about it at length. Andy Dirks talked about it at length. But in the fourth inning, you get a walk from Torkelson. You get the infield single from Riley Green. Dylan Dingler walk. Bases loaded. Bases loaded, 1 out. You got to find a way to score a run. McKinstry strikes out. Lentil Perez strikes out. There's your turning point. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Anybody for the Guardians. Because the Tigers team just doesn't deserve it. I mean, you go up and down this Guardian lineup and they play to their strengths. And the strength of this Guardian team is the bullpen. And, Williams does his job. Gavin Williams goes 6 innings, allows just the 2 earned runs, and then it's the bullpen. Just wiping this Tigers team out. So we'll give it to the Guardians bullpen. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm trying to read all the comments just because I don't know. This is sports. It's September baseball. People are going to lose their head in the comment section. Sure. Let's try not to lose sight of everything. We got Cleveland Browns fans talking smack about the Browns Lions game. Listen, that'll be a real crash out. If the Lions lose to the Browns, I would do something crazy. I can assure you that's not happening. The Browns got their win of the season, which we appreciate, by the way. Thanks for beating the Packers. That was great. But hey, there's still 2 games in this series, and we can take the punishment and the feeling of whatever's going to happen next. But Guardians and Tigers are tied. There's 2 games left in this series, and then 3 games for the Tigers to go to Boston. The nightmare is real. The epic collapse continues. The Tigers are free falling. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like today's video. And you know what? Even if you're just coming here to talk smack, subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. What a weird episode. What a weird week of baseball. What a wild, wild time we're living in. 2025, folks. September 23rd. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. Make sure you check out the Locked On Lions page with Matt Derry. Our Locked On Lions squad show on Thursday. Locked On Wolverines. We got Michigan football, although they're on a bye week this week. So you can still check out Locked On Wolverines with Isaiah Hull, because this is a fun time of year if your baseball team wasn't free falling. Appreciate everybody tuning in. See you next time. My name is Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. Guardian Trolls, we're coming for you tomorrow. Tigers guards back at it. I didn't even look at the projected pitchers. Let me do that real quick. I know with Scooble moved up, that kind of changes things around. I'm not sure if the Tigers have named their starter for Thursday quite yet, but Flaherty will go tomorrow and give the Tigers a chance to win. Let's hope. All right. This is the best comment to end on. My guy, R1VJ4, always says thanks for the show, and it makes my night. So even though the Tigers are pitiful, R1VJ4, your gratitude is appreciated. See you guys.